What is up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. We are finally back after
Yep.
weeks of not being on after the first time we came on.
Yeah, that one was my fault.
Okay. I feel that were my fault too, so it's fine. We made it. We're finally here. We're busy people.
Yeah. Well,
Sid
hello from
says
Chicago. So,
first
yeah.
and eyeballs.
Yeah.
All right.
Always have to have the one that says first.
I know every time, and it's not fair because I tell him when we go on, so I like text him first because I'm like, make sure it's working.
That's funny.
Anyway, we
Very good.
are going to obviously do draft talk because the draft just happened and that was super exciting. I was live for the draft, so I've been on
Okay.
doing something, and you are on the round table now, like full time.
Yeah, actually, as of
Yeah,
Tuesday,
look at
I was
that.
asked to be on it full time on Tuesday. So, yeah, you can see me on Tuesdays,
Yes.
starting in the when football goes with Nick and Handy and Delilah. So
Yes, that's a
I'll
good one.
bring
I'm
the
glad
AFC flavor to the show.
they need it. I'm glad they got another girl on there. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Delilah's not all by herself anymore.
Steelers
Steelers
crap.
crushed the draft. We're not on the Steelers. We're gonna go in alphabetical order because
Yes.
that just seemed the easiest way to do it. So we're just gonna get right into it because I don't want to be here till midnight.
Agreed.
So first we have the Arizona Cardinals. Um, they traded back and then ended up getting Paris Johnson Jr., which I thought was a fantastic pick by them. I thought that they did a great job.
Yeah. Um,
Hello, Sean.
hey, Sean. Yeah, when we were talking about when we were supposed to have our own pre-draft show, I asked Nick like who was one of the players he wanted, and he said Paris Johnson. So, yeah, that was a good pick by them. There weren't a lot of. I mean, there were a handful of solid offensive tackles, and they went quick. They went
Hmm.
fast.
And Arizona arguably got the best one. Let me see that.
Right.
Okay. No one wants to listen to that. Thank you. 2-year-old problems. I thought the Cardinals played it smart. They traded a lot. They got a lot of value for next year. I think they did a
Yeah.
really good job building for the future. Obviously, this year they're probably not going to be anything to write home about. I mean, right now everyone has them being the worst team for next year projected to be, which
Yeah.
I think they made good moves. I don't know that they'll be the worst anymore, but they definitely set themselves up to be successful in the future. I know my friend Chris, he's been around here. Cindy does a show with him. He was pumped, and he's a huge Cardinals fan. So
Yeah.
when your
I
fan
thought
base
there
is
were a lot of
happy,
good things there. And, sometimes having low expectations works for you. They got a brand
hmm
new coach in there. He's going to be bringing in a new system. So they, they've got nowhere to go but up.
yeah,
So,
that's kind of how I feel. It's like you had some stuff happening with like the coach, your management isn't great, and then you had some just weird things with the coach and the
yeah.
whole
So,
Buda Baker situation. So it's nice to have something positive come out of the
yeah.
Cardinals.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think
And
they
I
did
mean, a
really
lot
good.
of the pundits have given them a lot of really good grades for their drafts. So
Hmm.
it's, they did their job. I mean,
Yeah,
they did
for
what they were
sure.
supposed to do, get the best players what they could for what they needed at the
Hmm.
time when those picks came around. So we'll see how they gel.
We can't talk about Washington because they're going to be dead last. We didn't do Commanders. We went Washington. You said, Matt, I'm not at Dallas either. You need to hold it. Pump the brakes.
Jesus.
Y'all trying to jump. We're on to the Falcons now. Atlanta Falcons. I called Atlanta taking Bijan. I was pumped when I got that right. That was about the only mock draft place I got correct. So go me for that one. I was actually really surprised that the Falcons wanted Bijan, that they took Bijan because they had a really good rushing game last year. I mean, if anything was positive about the Falcons, is that they could run the ball. So I was really
Yeah.
surprised. But hey, I guess you got a luxury running back now. I think they
You
really
take the
ranked like in the top 3 for rushing last year. It was just so confusing why that's where they went. But
yeah, but sometimes you take the best guy in the draft on
mhm,
your draft board. So if he was listed there, that's who they went with. So
yeah,
yeah. I will also say that Handy was pretty pumped. He liked that pick too.
yeah.
So you can't it
It's
doesn't
hard to be
hurt to
mad
have
at.
stable. You need a stable of running backs because you're
Mhm,
gonna be doing first down, third down, different
yeah.
situations. I mean,
And running
Mike
backs get hurt.
Shanahan used to have 5 of them on his team, and then we'd use them as draft capital. But
Mhm. Lions.
yeah. So
But yeah.
yeah,
I think the Falcons have done a really good job in the offseason in general, just like bolstering up that defense, getting like good veterans in there to be able to lead the team, especially with such a young offense they have
Yeah.
going right now. So I think they're doing a pretty good job. I think they might be the best,
I agree too.
maybe the best team in their division. Their division's very not good. But I think they're at the top now, if not number one. I think they did a great job.
I think that division is going to be the epitome of black and blue. Like you're not
Mhm.
going to know who is the actual leader in the division until maybe the last game, and however how it all ends up with all of their records. So
Oh yeah, it'll be a fun one to watch how it shakes out, just because they're all kind of on the same level of like.
yeah, like who's gonna grab the reins and go?
We're like,
Okay, guys.
we have
Um,
divisions in the AFC that they're exact opposite situation. We're like, God, you're all so good. This is like we're all so not that great.
yeah,
There's just no. Well, now that the Panthers drafted a quarterback, there's just no like solid quarterbacks that you like trust to lead those teams to success. So you're kind of up in the air. Hello, Nathan.
hey
I haven't
Nathan.
talked to a lot of you guys since like football season ended, so it's nice to see you guys in the chat. I need to get back into watching y'all. Nathan, that Lamar though.
Oh,
You didn't see
well,
the Falcons getting Bijan? I did, Sean. So I am the smartest person about college football that you've ever met in your life. I actually did a mock draft the night before the draft and was on
yeah.
Twitter, and I was like, Falcons Twitter is blowing up about Bijan. I'm gonna roll with it, and it
Yeah.
ended up happening. So that was pretty crazy.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Speaking of Nathan and Lamar, we got the Baltimore Ravens, who ended up taking Zay Flowers in the first round, which I thought was. I went receiver. I totally thought they were going to go receiver in the first round. Which receiver, I wasn't really sure. But with the signing of Lamar, I knew there had been a conversation of, look, I need help. And
yeah.
he got it with the signing of OBJ and now Zay Flowers.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
don't got any more excuses, Lamar.
he's been saying it. He's been saying he's needed help. He got the help he needed. He got the contract he wanted. And now it's time, like a lot of people have said, like he's talented. He's got to put it all together and take it to the end. And then his naysayers will go to the wayside.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think if he comes out and just balls out, he'll shut everybody up for sure.
I did say he would be a Raven. Now I thought he would hold out.
Yeah.
He'd end up getting only 32 million. I was wrong. I'll be happy to be wrong on the 32 million.
Yeah.
But I did say he would be a Raven.
When it all first started coming out about Lamar, I'm like, there's just no way Lamar goes anywhere else. Lamar's a very specific type of quarterback, and the Ravens seem to really love him and his style of play. And then all this stuff started happening. I'm like, there's no way he stays a Raven after all the drama. But hey, they made it work, so that's good.
Yep.
You got 75% of your mock draft correct. I got Bijan Robinson correct. So I got that. And the first overall pick. I think we all had that. Money was on corner, but it's a cool pick. Yeah, I definitely just thought wide receiver with the signing of Lamar. How do you feel overall about your draft, Nathan? I think you guys did pretty good. You bolstered up the kind of pieces in the defense you needed. Your division, it's just a tough, hard division.
Yeah.
They need a new coach. The Ravens need a. Oh. JK Herbie. We're not on the Chargers. We're on the Baltimore Ravens. Get out of here.
That's not till later.
Everyone, like all quarterbacks, always have their critics, except for like
Well,
Patrick Mahomes.
so because I don't watch a lot of college football, I mostly watch like Michigan State with a friend of mine because I'm an NIU grad. We haven't had a decent team in a long time. But so I was looking at a lot of RAS scores, and
hmm
Baltimore's it's just under 9. So it's actually they got a pretty good RAS score for their, so they got some athletic ability there.
That's good.
But hopefully it turns into being able to do what they need them to
Yeah.
do.
I
Yeah,
hope
the
I
AFC
hope they're
not
good
that
just for
better.
the sake of like I love AFC North football.
I
Like
do
that's
too.
probably one of my favorite divisions. So I want you all to be good and I want it to be a battle to see who's gonna
I
win that
do. I
division.
really want it to be a battle. I like. It's kind of funny, but I do like poking my friend who's a Cleveland fan whenever they play the Ravens because it's just fun. They all just fight with each other and pick on each other and nit
Yeah.
at each other, and it's just a riot.
Yeah,
So
see, we already
I
have a
like it.
Steelers fan in the
Yep.
comments saying they gotta play Kenny P. That's all they do. They just they all think they're
I know.
better. They're the best too. So that's the absolute best part about it too. Like
Yeah.
my division, we all but like I'm sorry, Washington, you know you're not good. Like, and we know the Eagles won the draft, so we're all just bickering, but like they really believe that their team is better than every team in their division, whether they end up at the bottom or not. It's just the craziest thing.
It's like a Raiders fan.
Wow. I don't know if you can hear my 2-year-old.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, Sean, they did. He didn't actually. They were thinking he might go in for the draft, but he didn't. So he'll be there one more year at NIU. So they're getting better. They're getting much better. Their defenses are phenomenal. I do like NIU's defense. They're really good. So it's just the old from the heydays. They're getting some of those Florida players. So yeah.
Hey, there were a lot of Iowa players taken in the draft. I believe were there more Iowa players taken in round 1 than Michigan players? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I'd have to look at that.
So would
The
I
Browns
just
suck. Everyone's happy.
see
Well,
the bronze of the bronze. Wow. You know, aren't you should be self-aware. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we don't like to talk about how they won the draft though. Moving on to the Bills because I'm not talking about that right now. It's not their turn. The Bills got a tight end in the first round when they traded to go above us, one pick above us. I was like, oh, here it goes. Here goes Dalton Kincaid. I don't know how to Kincaid, whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they moved above us and got a tight end because I did not want a tight end in the first round. So I was happy about it. They need a tight end. Dawson Knox isn't that great. I mean, he's okay, but definitely not what you want out of a tight end, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't get another receiver, but tight end. If the tight end can put up receiver numbers, then I think it's a good pick.
If he plays like Gronkowski, then they've got somebody that can split the middle and play both. So, yeah, they need some help for that poor Allen boy.
Mm-hmm. They also, I don't know, they didn't really do anything. I thought they would try to bolster their defense a little bit since injuries kind of killed them last year. They said, nope, we don't care. We're just.
I mean,
okay.
That was the thing. The injuries are what killed their defense. And their defense was ready to rock and roll, but it just happened. So I can see why they didn't add anybody really in defense. They picked up a cornerback, but that he's in the later round, so he's going to be a project. So that's further like down the line. Yeah.
Depth guy. Yeah. I don't know. I just.
Yeah, but
they would
like
do
what
more.
We talked about before, Nathan. A lot of it. Well, where did they pick? Where were the Bills? 25th was their first pick.
Yeah, they moved up ahead of us.
Yeah,
so it was
most
late
of the
20s.
really good offensive linemen were gone by then. So
Josh Allen needs as much help as Josh Allen needs the Kirk Cousins treatment of like top wide receivers. He wants the Jalen Hurts treatment. He deserves it. He's got a cannon and he needs people to be able to throw the ball too, Nathan. Leave
Hey,
him
our
alone.
guys were listening to offers for Jerry Judy and a few others, but nobody bit. So,
I don't know that you guys still don't try to push Jerry Judy out or one of those guys.
well, we just resigned him.
Oh, did you?
We gave him
Who
his
else do you have?
extension.
Oh, okay. Never mind
Cortland
then.
Sutton, Jerry Judy.
That maybe that too. Cortland Sutton.
Cortland might be. I think it's one more year. Tim Patrick's back. Virgil's back. The one that's out is KJ Hamler. He has a pectoral tear, which we'll talk about when we get to Denver. That's probably why they picked who they picked with their first round. So
that makes sense.
But yeah, we got so many wide receivers.
All right.
Yeah,
the Bills did okay. It's hard when you have like such a late round pick and your team's kind of already set. You don't take as exciting of picks. The Panthers though, they with the number 1 pick got Bryce Young, which we all knew was gonna happen. I'm excited. I'm ready to see these quarterbacks because everyone gets all hyped for these quarterbacks every freaking season, and then they come out and they Johnny football it or some shit, and they're not as good as anyone expected them to be. So I'm really excited to see if Bryce Young lives up to the hype that everyone was giving him.
I agree. Yep. And we'll also talk about every year there's also one that always falls into the second or third round. We'll talk about him later, but the first 4, it was boom, 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 because you knew those guys needed quarterbacks. They were going to take the top 4. So after that, we had some interesting other, like Stenson Bennett ends up where he ends up, and a few of the other ones that I think will be a little more projects, but we'll see what happens. I keep hearing that the quarterbacks this year, the first 4 were really good. The rest of them, this wasn't the year for quarterbacks. I'm hearing there's going to be even better quarterbacks coming out next year. So those that didn't pick quarterbacks the first time that might need them in the next year, they're holding those picks for them. So
what's your issue with Bryce in Carolina, Nathan? I'm just curious. Do you guys think Bryce Young's height will hurt him if he can't see over those big linemen? Yes. Can he run? I don't really pay attention in college, so I'm not really 100% sure talent-wise what these guys bring to the table, but can he run? Because like Kyler Murray's short, and I think Kyler Murray's pretty good, but Kyler Murray's also always scrambling.
Right.
So I don't know.
He
is a small guy, though, only 6'2".
That's always the big thing, is they always go back and forth and like, well, you have to have these big, tall quarterbacks so they can see over the offensive line. And
he's got a big, tall wide receiver that they drafted because he's 6'2", 220 pounds. So got big boy catching the ball. So if he can see him, I think we'll be okay.
We drafted a 6'3" guy, and he ended up pooping out. So well, he made a bad decision as far as my mind. You just never know. You never know what's going to happen with these quarterbacks, because like sometimes I'm not sure, like some of the programs, it's just they're so used to dink and dunk and everything else. And I do like the running ones. The ones that can make plays happen on their feet are fun to watch. So it'll be fun to watch Bryce and some of these guys that just got drafted to see what they're going to do.
Yeah. Well, if he can move, then I think he'll at least be okay. And if his line's bad, at least he can move, because that's what Kyler Murray deals with too. So his line's atrocious.
That's what Tim Tebow used to do.
And he's got to run. So
Tim Tebow used to do that all the time. He'd run through his progressions, not see anything, and just take off.
But I feel like a lot of those guys are good in colleges. Like college, you can run and you can get past defenses and be okay. NFL defensive players are bigger, faster, stronger. You can't just do past them. And Justin Fields can. I don't know, that man's built different, but like it's harder to run. It just is. These guys are bigger, faster, stronger, playing against the biggest of the biggest defensive players, so it's harder. So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to the NFL. The Panthers just are
they're a project right now.
Yeah, I just don't see them as like a great franchise. Like, oh my gosh, the Panthers. They've made some like good offseason moves. They've got some talent, so we'll see
They
how it
just
goes.
haven't been able to put the team back together since
Yeah.
we destroyed them in Super Bowl 50.
Womp womp. I don't know. I definitely don't expect to see anything great coming out of them this year, but maybe in the next 2 years or so, maybe they'll be like the Jags and kind of start to turn it around. But
Yeah.
until the pads come on, exactly.
Yep.
Go
Exactly.
Rams. I didn't even know the Rams had fans like that. Who even
Well,
likes the Rams?
Well, speaking of Justin Fields,
We're
about
on to the Bears.
Bears.
Who got Justin Fields some help.
Yeah.
Finally.
We kind of talked, we didn't really talk about it, but I think we do have to kind of like not picking Jalen. I don't know, but okay. They got the guy they wanted. Everything I've read, Darnell Wright is the guy that the Bears wanted.
Mhm.
I'm a big proponent of picking the best player available at the time. So, and I understand a lot of people had some issues with Jalen and all his controversy and everything, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
he's just so talented, though. I don't know how you just. And I know, see, to me, like Jalen Carter, in my mock draft, I had the Bears taking Jalen Carter, and I was like, no one can convince me they're gonna do anything else. Like, this
I
is
know.
what they're gonna do. This is what they need to do, and then they didn't.
And they gave the
and I
pick
was just
to
like,
Philly, and Philly picked up another
okay,
Georgia.
I guess we're not gonna do that. And I don't know, with him having so much stuff going on, I'm sure that's like a mental thing as well. And then they're like, well, he gained weight and then he was running slow. I'm like, yeah, but do you realize the crap that man went through for the last, his fault or not, that he went through for the last like 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was? Like, he's got a lot of shit going on. So
Yeah.
I think where he ended up being like the most perfect fit for him ever, which is super annoying.
Yeah, because
but
he's literally sliding in with friends on a line.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
They all played with each other. So
and they'll be able to
gonna
build
have-
him up and get him back to where he needs to be and mentally get where he needs to be. The Bears really need to protect their investment. Yeah. Because I think the Bears could seriously be good if they could just give Fields some time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Who we were talking about Jalen Carter. Sorry I couldn't make that. No. I was really shocked to see they traded too, and we were talking about Jalen Carter. Sorry, we kind of started talking, and we knew that we were talking about the same person. We were on the same page. I think the Bears did good. I saw a few things about how they kind of reached for some people, but everything I've seen was said that they added some good, valuable pieces. They're still kind of in this rebuild-ish time, so I think in the next year, I think they're going to be real serious contenders.
Yeah, Delilah brought this up, and then I was just checking this out. They also had a pretty good RAS score, 8.97. So some people may not agree with the picks, but all of their picks are pretty athletic and have good parameters for what they're doing for their jobs or for their positions. So it's something that they've got the athletic ability there. Now they just got to train them up and coach them up to the NFL level. So yeah, they got to protect Justin or he's going to be dead.
I do love watching Justin Fields though.
Bears. That's one of the critiques I've always had about Bears is that at times they have not had a very good offensive line in place. And
they're very defense minded.
And also someone like Jay Cutler who likes to sit in the pocket. You gotta have a good offensive line, or it's just gonna collapse around them. So, all right,
moving on. The Bengals. The Bengals had a later round pick too, so it's not like they just didn't do anything that was like super exciting. Once again, they've shown they don't care about protecting Joe Burrow. They went all defense, which they needed to go defense because they did let a few people go. But I just once again thought you could have used more offensive lineman depth at least. They also didn't take a tight end, which I really thought they were going to. So I don't know if they're banking on Irv Smith being healthy, which he hasn't been. or being good, which he also hasn't really been. I like him, but he's on again, off again, available, and I don't know. Unless they like their
Yeah.
guys. I thought it was weird they didn't take a tight end. I kind of expected them to take a running back earlier than the 5th round as well. They just did some weird things, in my opinion, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this and you're right. It's very defensive heavy. I think they definitely went with we're getting the best player in this round at this time. Maybe they're thinking that through free agency and things like that, they can pick up a few offensive linemen and get some people with experience or some pros in there. So after the draft, when the young guys are in, then the free agency kind of heats up a little bit.
It gets started back up
figured
again.
out like you're not gonna get that.
I want Zeke to go to the Bengals because I like the Bengals, and then I can cheer for Zeke again.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm gonna manifest it.
Put that out into the world.
Also, when you're like the Bengals and you're good, you don't really need to do anything crazy.
You're kind of filling holes.
Yeah.
You're putting rookies in, slotting them in the second, third, fourth position, so you can train them up. You can get them going. They can work with the veterans on the team and bring them up that way. So yeah, and Burrows, like Lawrence and Allen, and I will not say his name. He is still Kermit. When you have those guys, they can do a lot of stuff, so you can cover for some of those holes. But yes, I 100% agree with you. They're going to kill Burrows, or at least break his leg at some point if they
again, because they've already hurt him once. I agree that Orlando Brown Jr. was a good signing. I just thought they needed more, like you said, but the right side still needs work.
Now, see, I was happy with the Bengals getting Orlando Brown. I'm hoping now our pass rushers can get in.
Yes.
But yeah, they need that line just collapsed way too fast in the playoffs. So, all right.
Yeah. Moving on to same division, different team, the Browns. I don't really have much to say on the Browns because they didn't have a pick until round 3. They went receiver, which I think is good for that. That was a good pick. They needed a receiver. They did get Elijah Moore, right? I think that's who they got.
No, not according to what I can see.
No, like
in
the trade with the Jet. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Elijah Moore.
Yeah. And I don't really, when I think of the Browns, I'm not like, I don't know, really like their big glaring needs. I'm not. Maybe a receiver depth would have been my big, maybe some defensive line players, but
as long as
I think they did pretty good for what they had.
Yeah.
The Browns stink. Yeah, I did. They need a quarterback. Okay. I mean, I don't like the one they have.
Well, they did draft one.
Did they end up drafting one in the later?
They drafted Dorian Robinson from UCLA. So
they got a backup now. Well, they let Jacoby Brissett go, so they needed somebody back there.
Yeah, they needed someone back there. So
moving on to the best team in the entire world, the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. Went from the worst to the best team. The Dallas Cowboys took Mazi Smith in the first round, who I'm actually, after seeing a lot of things about, super excited for. We needed someone to stop the run. That was our biggest, in my opinion, need, was somebody who could stop the run, especially with the teams we play with Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. The Eagles have 500 running backs, so you never know what's going to happen there. Washington is Washington. So I'm just excited we got someone who can stop the run. That's definitely going to allow the rest of our defense to do what they need to do and perform at a high level. So I'm super pumped. I was annoyed at the tight end pick. I'm not going to lie. Every pick after the first round felt like a reach, and everyone said it. Everyone was saying it. It's like, yeah, these players are good, but like, you could have got them in the next round. Why are you reaching? So it just is annoying that I feel like we reached, but then we also address needs. So I'm kind of just like very about it. I know Sean said something earlier about Deuce Vaughn, and his dad is like a scouting person for the Cowboys. So that was super cool to see them in the draft room, and his dad being able to basically hand in his ticket and call him and say, "Hey, we're drafting you." So I thought that was
Yeah.
sweet. That was,
that was
we had
very
drafted him, and I didn't know that information. I didn't know he was his
Okay.
dad like worked for us and things. And we drafted him. He's 5'6", so he's shorter than I am. And we drafted him, and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I love big running backs, like the Derrick Henrys, the Najees, just big running backs that are gonna plow you, stiff arm you over. Like, so when I saw we drafted some 5'6" mother, I was like, oh my god, I hate this so
But
much. And everyone's
sometimes
like,
those finesse guys,
yeah,
they can
that's what
surprise
everyone
you.
says.
Philip Lindsay, when we took him as an undrafted free agent, I was like, that kid is gonna get killed. But he was able to wibble and wobble, and he would find holes, and he gets through. And the finesse guys, just as a change of pace once in a while, is a good thing. So, yeah, he's gonna have to fight for his job, no doubt about it. But see what he can do.
I think it'll be fun.
You've had the big guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta change it up. Deuce is a monster.
Everyone's saying he's really, really good. So
I read the same thing. Yeah, they were talking like that's the one that they think if everything goes well, and which his dad is a scout and a coach, and he's been raised in it. So see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm excited. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
My headphones died. Great timing.
Yeah, I can still hear
so we're gonna go like this now. So I'm excited. Everyone says when we drafted him, I went on Twitter, obviously, because I'm like, someone needs to tell me if this was good or not, because I don't know that far down into the draft. And everyone's like, this is the best. This is a great pickup. I'm like, what? But they're like, he's explosive. He can in and out. You can't catch him because he's so speedy. So I think it'll be fun to watch.
Speedy Gonzalez.
I personally don't think we needed to replace Dalton, because I think this guy right here, Ferguson and Hendershot are going to be enough to replace Dalton. I think Dak can make almost any tight end look at least good. So I'm a little annoyed that we went tight end, and I'm a little annoyed of the tight end we chose, because the tight ends I wanted were already taken by the time it got to us. So I was like, ooh, I don't want a tight end anymore. Let's just keep it moving. Maybe later we can get one. But yeah, but I don't listen to you. I don't want to listen to you. Well, that's good. I'm glad we got him. A lot of people were saying it was a really good pick, so I'll take it. Overall, I'm a little surprised we didn't take a wide receiver a lot earlier than we did. I think we needed wide receiver more than we needed tight end. But that's just me. Fun fact, we now have 3 wide receivers named Jalen on our team. So, one of them's going to stick.
The triple
I think
J's.
it might be 4, actually. I'd have to look it up again, because I think we signed another one that was undrafted. So one of these guys, we love our
like everybody named
we love you with your last name Smith.
Everyone had the name Christina when I was coming up in like junior, like it's grade school and everything, and my name was Tina, and they're like, oh, that's short for Christina, right? Like, no, it's not.
That's what
everyone in this generation is named Jalen.
Like, my mom jokes that Jerry Jones is delusional, so he just keeps drafting people with the same name, because he's like, oh yeah, you. And then we have Sam Williams on our team, looks exactly like Micah Parsons, and we're like, he thought that was Micah, and he's like, that guy was like Micah.
Oh god, that's awesome.
It's so bad. That's where we're at in life. All right, moving on.
Okay.
To the Broncos. Let's go.
Yeah, which I absolutely loved it. The second day I was at a party when it was going on, so I was trying to watch it,
Mhm.
but I absolutely loved it when you and my favorite person came out and gave the announcement, DeMarcus Ware.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was looking at the lineup of people who were talking, and it was like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I love, and then it was, oh my gosh, I can't remember who it was for us. It was somebody that I like, but I couldn't remember because then I saw
DeMarcus Ware.
Like,
Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it. Now you go on Broncos Twitter and it's a cesspool.
I mean, what were you guys? It was the second round though. Like
Everything's all, well, if it wasn't for Russ, we wouldn't be in this position. And I'm sick of it. I'm done with that whole thing. It's like, yes, it put us in a bad position with the amount of our picks and everything, but we can't do anything about it. He's our quarterback.
Mhm.
Move the bleep on, people.
Mhm.
Okay. Which
pretty much, like, just realize this is where we're at now, and how can we capitalize?
We're
on
not
that?
going to be in the first round. They're like, we should have gotten a quarterback. No, we don't need a quarterback. That's,
No, that's
why we got a free
silly.
agent from the Raiders. We don't need a quarterback.
That's silly.
Sean brought his quarterback over.
Mm-hmm.
So in looking at the people, these definitely, you can tell Sean had a lot to do with this. And Mims, from what I'm reading, this guy is probably, for me, the reference is Emmanuel Sanders. For people that are Seattle fans or Seahawk fans, Tyler Lockett. That's the type of guy he is. Littler guy, but quick speed, deep ball, punt returner type thing.
Mhm.
So we traded up to get him, and I'm pretty happy with that one. And then we mostly went defense and then center. And the defensive guys, from what I've been seeing, I'm happy with all of them. Drew Sanders fell a little bit, so I think we got a little extra value for him. But my favorite is Riley Moss, the cornerback. Like, the more and more video I watch of him, the more and more excited I get. Him and Mattis, who still, they're all him, Mattis, and PS2 is Patrick Surtain. Mm-hmm. That's just going to be a cornerback crew.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Patrick Surtain is so good. He's so
and that was the problem. Like, a lot of people were giving Damari Mattis a lot of crap last year, and it's like, because he's playing opposite of Patrick Surtain, they're not going to throw to Patrick.
Phenomenal, like so good. Your guys' defense is ridiculously good. Like,
yeah, but I mean, reading Riley's stats, holy crap! Like,
Iowa boy, Iowa defense.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm sure she was like, damn it, I wanted him.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna start calling him Seahorn Jr. because but he is good. And getting Drew Sanders was a steal, and the safety we picked up, JL Skinner, he's a big boy as a safety. He's like 6'4" and almost 210 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
As everybody's been kind of saying, people have said it here, the pundits have said it, everything, with Sean Payton, it's gonna be a grind, like run and grind type of defense and everything.
It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, and then we picked up
teams can't score. Who cares if Russell Wilson was a bust? You don't need to score that much.
All we need to do is score more than we did last year. And I was actually, a lot of people wanted us to pick up another edge, and why? We have Gregory, and two, we just drafted Nick Benito last year. We don't need another edge.
Those guys,
they're just craziness. But I will say it, and I've said it a long time, Bronco fans are really kind of toxic right now.
I feel like everyone's fan base
so good for so long, and now that things are not doing well, they're not handling it well. So, all right.
I think that Broncos,
we did trade for Troutman, which is Sean's tight end that he drafted when he was at New Orleans. So, I'm very happy with the draft.
Yeah. I just think, like, Broncos fan, you got to give it another year. Your coach was terrible, which can totally kill your team. I mean, look at the exact opposite situation. Like, look at the Giants. They had like no talent and they killed it because their coach is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm like, so
Well,
a coach can make
injury.
or break your team. They just let's get Sean Payton in there, give it a year. See, I mean, if this year it's still like, God, we're really like Russ is really bad, then maybe panic mode a little bit. But like,
Well, based on the cap and everything, if we
mhm.
want to get rid of him after this year, we can actually afford it. So that's we can't this year. This year,
Yeah,
there's
it
no
doesn't
way
make
we were
sense,
going to.
and it doesn't make sense to get rid of him when you know your coach was such a terrible situation. Like, give him another year.
Yeah, but injuries killed
Oh
us.
yeah.
Like every one of our wide receivers went down at one point in
Mhm.
the season, and our defense kept getting nailed left and right. And so it was just not a comedy of errors, but
Yeah.
it was just anything that could go wrong
Go
did
wrong was
go
just
wrong.
absolutely going wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the like I kind of said on somebody asked me about like, oh well, one more year, Russell, and then you can do it. I'm like, this is Russell's year to prove that it wasn't
Mhm.
just him. It was
Yeah.
also the coach that he had.
And the
I'm
injuries and
thinking
everything.
based on what I've been reading, I think Russ was hurt more than what they were saying.
Yeah.
And he was also carrying about 30 pounds, 20 to 30 pounds more than he's used to carrying, because he was going to be in the pocket and he wanted to be able to
Mhm.
take the hits a little bit more, and that slows you down. It causes
Mhm.
injuries. He's lost it all.
Did he?
So
Yeah, I think
Sean is,
it'll be
yep,
better this year.
yeah. Hey,
It'll be
3 more
exciting.
games, I'm happy.
Yeah.
3 more games than last year, I'm happy.
Next
So,
team is the Lions. The Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, and I was like, what the hell are they doing? They are so stupid. This team, I was like on the Lions. I'm not that big on the Lions train as everybody else, but I'm like, I really like the Lions. I really like their coach. This is a brand new Lions. I'm here for it. Like the next 2 years, I think they'll,
yeah.
like, especially with Aaron Rodgers leaving, like, and then Kirk Cousins. Not that he's like Aaron Rodgers, but anytime you get a new quarterback, it's like a learning thing, and
Yep.
you're not normally just bam great. And then next year, so I think the Lions have like a real chance. And then they drafted a running back, and I was like, what the hell are they doing? How many running backs do you need? It all makes a lot more sense now about how it's all played out. Um,
Yeah.
they really hated DeAndre Swift apparently, which I don't understand. I get he's like kind of an injury thing, but that man, in fantasy wise, that man was on the injury report every week, and every week he ended up playing, except for like a few games this last season. I think DeAndre Swift's a beast. I didn't understand getting rid of Williams either, but hey, whatever. So they got rid of running backs and then just got another one. Jahmyr Gibbs was somebody I thought was going to fall to us, so I was really surprised to see him taken
At
at
12.
12.
Okay.
I thought that was really shocking. And then they took the linebacker from Iowa, and then they took a tight end from Iowa. So I'm just calling them the Lions from now on. And I
The Lions. I like it.
absolutely am obsessed with Laporta. That's who I wanted as my tight end.
Okay.
Yes, hold on. Good night. 2-year-old problems, man. But I
If
thought
I
Jack Campbell was really shocking that early too. I thought he would go later. I didn't think I had Jack Campbell falling out of my mock draft in the round 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised he went there. But I think overall, after it all developed and after everything happened, the Lions actually did a really good job in the
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah, I think a lot of the pundits agreed with you with the Jahmyr Gibbs pick. Like a lot of people were like, "What?" But I guess they wanted to get their guy. So, yep.
After it all, though, I was like, wow, they really did like a good job. Like after like sitting back and looking at it, I was like, oh wait, no, they actually kind of killed it. So
Yeah.
good for them.
All right. Leading into our next favorite topic.
Yay. More Iowa players, though. Let's go. Green Bay Packers shocked everybody and took Luke Van Ness in the first round. And I was like, oh, so the Packers are the same old Packers. They don't care about their quarterback. They are not going to help him out. And they're going to give Jordan Love the Aaron Rodgers treatment. But then they
And they're going to
proceeded to
create
draft 2 tight ends and a wide receiver. So I was like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. Yep. I
I don't
mean,
know. Green Bay
Uh,
did weird
all
things.
I can say is I'm so glad it's finally over with. Like they got a deal done, and he's in the Jet. He's with the Jets, and we'll talk about the Jets later, who
And we
did
can.
also have a pretty good draft. And it's a boomer bust thing there. I'm
Mhm.
hoping for bust.
I think most people are. I think they'll boom, but that's just me. But I feel like I always think that he's gonna do good, and then he doesn't. So
He's got to get that. He always goes into the postseason and he gets just right there, and then he craps the bed, and he's out. So I just it. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the fact that Green Bay just set up another quarterback controversy because Jordan Love has only played one game. He's essentially a rookie. And so, I mean, we'll see what happens. So,
yeah, I'm excited for him to get a chance and see how he does. The little glimpses we've seen of him so far
I think
haven't
he's
been.
going to have a quick hook, though. It's going to be like those old time vaudeville shows, like no laughs in 2 minutes, and he's gone.
Yeah, I don't. We've seen a little bit of him, and it hasn't been great. So I don't really have a lot of faith in that.
Yeah, like I said, we've seen him in one game.
I would love for the Packers to absolutely suck, though. So I don't care.
Well, the Bear fans on this show will like that too, and so will my family because they're tired of Aaron Rodgers.
I'm over it.
Yep.
Next is the Texans. The Texans took a quarterback. I was surprised they moved up to take CJ Stroud, especially after all this stuff coming out about how he's an idiot. But they did it anyway. Don't look at me like that.
Well, I think
that was wild watching the draft though, and watching them go back to back like that with CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. That was probably the most exciting thing that happened.
Yeah, that's interesting. That was a very interesting strategy that they did with that. It got them the people that they wanted. So Houston definitely needed help on the edge. So sometimes you just gotta Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions is the greatest thing. I'm pumped.
That's awesome. I do agree with you on that.
I don't. Houston's still gonna suck. They're just not good.
They've got to rebuild.
Yeah,
from management, from ownership management on up, and so each year it's going to be a little bit better. I was about ready to say, oh, they took Iowa, but I see that it's Iowa State. So
yeah, and like late. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. Though they did get a day 3 grade A from the people I'm looking at. So they like their last round picks. Yeah. Maybe those are I know why I like them, because they got the Alabama Samoan linebacker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love Samoans. I think they're some of the best linebackers ever because they're strong as shit. And they really don't care. So him and Tuli, who we'll talk about with later. Yeah, I wanted those were the two guys that kind of, if we were going to take a linebacker, I wanted one of those guys. They were on my list of the people I wanted. So yeah, so Henry, enjoy the warmth of Houston.
Yeah, it's just Houston's just Houston, so it'll be a while before you can tell if he's going to be any good or not. Otherwise, his career will just die in Houston because it's Houston.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
I'm hoping it doesn't, because I do like DeMario. Yeah. So that's like, if you look through a lot of their picks, you can tell that D'Amico was helping out with some of those picks. So, all right. Indianapolis Colts.
Another quarterback.
Now, this is the interesting one, because a lot of people thought that Will Levis was going to go here.
I said they weren't going to, so I was right.
Yeah, you were. But a lot, it's interesting because a lot of people, like, he jumped, I guess, is what they were saying. And then he fell, and they are thinking, like, the ceiling's much higher with Anthony Richardson, is what everything I've been reading.
Is he like super athletic, Anthony Richardson? Why did he jump up so high? Because he's super athletic. Did he
Yep.
do good in the combine and he just like shot up? So he's gonna be a bust, huh? Is it gonna translate to the NFL? I don't know. They did good. They got a quarterback, a wide receiver. They had a ton of picks, like in the 5th round. My lord, the 4th and 5th.
Oh
round.
yeah. Well, they sucked.
That's fair.
They gave away a bunch of their best players. So yeah, they're rebuilding. So.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in the Colts ever. Every quarterback that goes there just.
Except for Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I would say ever since Peyton Manning, what have they done? So
Yeah.
next we have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Anthony Richardson's RAS score was a 10 out of 10.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the reason why they took him.
All out.
Yeah.
AF. Yeah.
Okay. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Just run the ball with him and JT.
Yep.
Yeah. JT's gonna die out there if he's got to keep carrying that team on his back, though. Gonna turn into Christian McCaffrey and never be able to play because it's just him taking the whole team.
Christian can also catch and throw, so
yeah. He's just the best.
Don't be dissing my boy, honey.
It's just, well, when you have to carry the whole team on your back, you're gonna break. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
The Jags, I'm excited for the Jags this season. I think they're gonna be freaking good. I have Trevor Lawrence as my MVP next season because I am high on the Jags, especially after watching that playoff game. I was like, this is it. He's amazing. I'm all in on the Jags. So
one or two plays went differently and the Jags would have been playing instead of the other team. So yeah, he's also gotten better. Like, and the progression is there. You can see the progression. Like the first year, he was it Urban Meyer that he had his first year.
Yeah, that, I mean, and that to survive that in itself is
that clown show that it was the first year he was there. And then last year he showed a lot of growth. They're building the team around him, especially when you're talking about picks like this, because the Jags are also getting older in some of these positions. So you gotta bring the young guys in to hold the clipboard and read film with you and things like that. So
they bolster their defense, which is good because their defense was very meh. So I think they'll be pretty good. I'm excited for them. Next one is the Kansas City Chiefs, which they didn't have any really super exciting picks, but when you win the Super Bowl, you don't really get exciting picks. So
no, they got an edge to replace. They did finally get another edge. I saw that. Well, they picked up 2 edges is what they did. Am I reading this right? Ball State? Good Lord.
Yeah. No idea.
No idea who he is.
Watch him be a freaking stud.
Well, I know because know who he is because we play Ball State in the MAC conference, but wow.
He'll be a stud because no one knows where the heck he
No one knows who he is.
Next one is the Raiders. The Raiders probably made all the wrong picks because that's what they do. I don't know.
I do think
they got that tight end.
Pretty good. For what they need in our division with Herbert and with Kermit, and if Russell does what he's supposed to do, they did. I think they kind of made some of the right picks. Now, whether they'll pan out or not, I do not know.
Whether they'll work out.
The only good pick that Coach McDum did when he was with us is Tim Tebow, and he turned into talk about a dividing factor with the fans. But his drafting, we'll see. I mean, everyone knows I'm not a fan of Josh McDaniels at all. So
I mean, he's really not giving anyone anything to be a fan of as of now.
Getting the edge on the opposite side of Max Crosby, they had to do that. You couldn't be asking Max to be the only person. So Matt Conference, baby. Yeah.
They definitely needed a tight end too, so that was smart because
Yeah.
um
They picked up
Oscar
another
Moreau
quarterback,
is out.
which
They got rid of
that
Darren
one will be
Waller.
the interesting thing to see because Josh is he was a QB coach, he was the offensive coordinator. So for them to pick up this guy from Purdue, that's probably he's thinking that's my next Tom Brady. So we'll see if that's what actually ends up happening. So
Wishful thinking. Next, moving on to another team that I really, really love is the Los Angeles Chargers, and I just love them because Herbie got another wide receiver because he needed another one. They're getting greedy over there. Kellen Moore is about to look like the best offensive coordinator in the world because he has all the weapons in the world.
Well, that's what I was saying on the show on Tuesday was if you look through this list, because like wide receiver, both are wide receivers and their tight ends are getting older. They're going to be retiring. You need to bring new blood in to replace those guys because Mike Williams and Antonio Gates are a huge part of that. And last year showed like when one of them got injured, they weren't doing as well. So you bring new blood in on that one. They also got the other linebacker that I like, Tua Putulutu. Like I said, if he was as far as I'm concerned, he's Samoan. I want him
automatically.
Yeah,
A grade on that pick.
They just are like not. They're just beasts out on the field,
like in their blood. They can't help it.
Yeah, it's in their blood. And then I also like that they picked up a quarterback. And as I said, Max Dugan's not going to see shit. He's going to walk around with headphones on, the clipboard in his hand, going, watching the tape. Going,
yeah. He's got the best job in the world. Seriously. That's the best job in the world.
He's going to get he's going to get however much he's going to get for where he's at, like at least $500,000 or $1 million. It's like,
I low-key wanted to draft him because I love TCU watching them in the playoffs. The Chargers drafted 3 TCU players. They were all in on TCU. They got the quarterback and 2 receivers.
There's somebody that had a connection to that. They're like, okay. Yeah, I just know. Yeah, because both wide receivers were TCU and the quarterback was TCU. The one thing I did hear that on one of the Broncos podcasts I listened to was some people are questioning Johnson because the question's going to be, is it going to be the Johnson that shows up and balls out, or is it going to be the Johnson that doesn't show up at all in a game? Because he's done that at TCU. So that'll be the question.
He's got so many other good guys around him that it won't even matter.
Yeah.
We got studs.
I mean, Herbert's going to be like, go there.
Yeah. I'll get you the ball. Just go.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to speed go through some of these because I am tired. The Rams,
Bennett would be the only one I'd want to talk about because the rest of it, it's like, okay.
Yeah. I think the Rams are going to suck again. I don't have any faith in the Rams.
But I do think Bennett might actually, I don't know if it was Nick or Handy that said it, that I do think Bennett might actually get some playing time because Stafford is like a fragile little flower right now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Dolphins didn't really have a lot of picks.
No, they had 4 picks in the whole.
I didn't think anyone could have less than us.
The Vikings, they drafted another receiver, which I was expecting them to go receiver. I thought maybe when Will Levis dropped, they might take him, but they did not, with Kirk Cousins being a free agent. But they didn't want any part of that. Their wide receivers are ballers now, though. That'll be really exciting. I think Jordan Addison was probably my favorite receiver in the draft. So yeah, I'm pumped for that. I like the Vikings. I hope the Vikings always do good. I grew up a Vikings fan, so. Who else? The Patriots.
Bunch of picks. They always have a bunch of picks.
Yeah,
they're always
met needs. It's just nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of thought maybe they'd go wide receiver earlier than the 6th round. Apparently, I think everyone needs a wide receiver, though.
Because I think a lot of the teams do. Like, they need Is it Mac Jones that's the quarterback there?
Yes. He's
Yeah, Mac
terrible.
Jones needs to be able to throw too.
He's awful.
But it's Belichick, and he's not going to take anybody.
No, he doesn't do it. They don't do anything exciting. They're so boring.
They're late round drafters, give up first and second rounders, and get 3-4 later in the draft all the time. Saints.
I thought the Saints did good.
Nicole.
Nicole, where are you? I thought that Brian Breesy, I think is how you say his name. I wanted him when it was our pick, and he was still there. I was like, I feel like this is a steal if we get him right now, and then we didn't do that, but that's okay. I think they did good. I didn't really pay attention to them after that. Really, see, they got a quarterback, a running back.
Yeah, they did get their wide receiver at the end because we traded our pick to them for Troutman. So they got an extra pick at the end.
No, that division just stinks, so they'll probably be good. I don't know. The Giants, I thought the Giants did really, they did okay. They didn't get a wide receiver very early, but then they got Jalen Hyatt, who I thought was a steal for how late they got him. I thought he was going to go much earlier than that. Deontay Banks is apparently supposed to be really good, and that John Michael Schmidt is supposed to be really good. So,
yeah, okay. Well.
They are not very good against the run, and they didn't do anything to get better at that. Which, fine, don't get better. Love that for you. The Jets.
Jets.
Jets. Jets.
I mean,
they are pretty solid now that they filled the quarterback need. I think that was really just getting depth at these positions.
The issue with the Jets is going to be, can the offensive guys pick up on God, I can say Hackett's crazy offensive scheme. I mean, yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers helps that, though.
He knows it. He knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's still crazily complicated, and they're not going to get a lot of coaching because most of the people that he brought over, a lot of the same people he had with us with coaching, and that was one of the big things that the younger guys said was, it was crazily complicated, and they weren't able to break it down well enough for some people to understand how to implement it.
Yeah.
They didn't know where they were supposed to be.
Really smart by the Jets to get Rodgers. And
that's the thing. And I 100% believe this was that when we took Hackett, the idea is we were going to try and get Aaron Rodgers. But Green Bay and the Denver could not
come to
an agreement, which is why we went for Russell Wilson. Hackett's system, it works with Aaron Rodgers. It's an extremely complicated system and weird. I'm not gonna lie. You're sitting there with you need 2 yards and you're gonna go 6 yards back and throw it.
Sounds like some Dallas Cowboy offense going on right there.
I mean, they honestly, the Jets, if they did not get Aaron Rodgers, they were fucked. There's no way Zach Wilson would have been able to run.
The Jets are going to be really fucking good.
They are. I mean, they're good.
I like the Jets team outside. I mean, I don't really like Aaron Rodgers, but I really like the rest of the people on the, I love Breece Hall, and Sauce is amazing. I like all of them. Moving on to the winners of the draft, which I hate to say, the Eagles.
I'll keep quiet about Sauce.
Yeah. The Eagles did so good, and it makes me so mad. They did phenomenal. They somehow ended up to get Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. I can't stand them. They're so annoying.
And then got the cornerback later.
Yeah.
Nailed
the draft. A+ draft. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore because I'm annoyed.
I the first thought when I saw that trade, I was like, I think she's pissed off right now.
Yeah. I'm not happy.
To sit there and see them, the Bears trade to Philly, and Philly gets Jalen Carter.
I know exactly what I'm like. Here we go. Here's Jalen Carter. I'm like, hopefully all the bad things people are saying about him are true, even though I don't believe it.
considering they didn't lose a lot of people off that team. So
No,
yeah,
they like filled
they
every
did
hole
really
they needed
well.
to fill. They picked up people, and it's just so annoying.
Yep,
I'm annoyed.
they're
Okay.
gonna make another run for the thing.
Going to the worst team in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolute
They did a
garbage.
terrible job. Somehow they ended up getting Joey Porter Jr. in the second round. That was such a bad pick. Steelers got Joey Porter Jr. in the second round, and they said, we don't give a fudge what happens after this. We got Joey Porter Jr. No one can
I
tell
wanted Porter so
anything.
bad. I was hoping.
When no one watching the last, what was it, like 5 picks of the draft with Sydney was the most entertaining because he knew they were the first pick the next day. Was the most entertaining thing ever because he was like, the Joey Porter, not Joey Porter Jr. Okay, good. We're still gonna get him. And then it was like, are they gonna take him? And it's like, no, good. No, they didn't take him either. Are they? Like it was a constant like, and then all the talk about are the Steelers gonna trade that second round pick back? And I'm like, now you're not gonna get him because you're gonna trade it back. He's right there for you, and you guys are gonna not take it.
Yeah.
Wow. I think the Steelers ended up killing the draft. They did a really good job.
Yeah, they did.
I was a little surprised you guys didn't take Sydney's right here, so I'm talking to him. Receiver. Are you surprised you didn't take a wide receiver? No, you believe in Deontay Johnson and
You got Allen Robinson too for dirt cheap.
oh, you did get Allen Robinson. I did forget about that.
Yeah.
I mean, their first two killed it.
And we have Calvin Austin still, who hasn't played any season stuff.
Got Calvin Austin. Yeah, that's just a big unknown, so I don't know. I was surprised they didn't get one like later. Like I'm like, oh, you guys didn't have a 5th or a 6th
One in your
pick, though?
pocket, just in case.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of makes sense then. Yeah, see, we don't like to talk about how they did. Yeah, that Ringo pick, everyone's talking about how like that's one of the best picks of the draft. I don't.
He fell. They thought he
Yeah.
would actually go earlier and to fall to that. I think that's like the 4th or 5th round at 100. Yeah, that's. But I guess some people saw something on the tape that they didn't like.
Or
They saw
personality
something else.
yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know.
49ers. What I'm loving is the fact that I know they didn't have a 1st or a 2nd, but their 2nd pick was a kicker.
That's what I forgot to mention about the Patriots. The Patriots drafted a kicker and a punter. Let's go.
And I will go with this. I bet you if you look into it, the kicker kicks with a left spin to his ball.
Let's just see.
Because Belichick always picks left-footed
I'm gonna look it up
kickers because the ball spins wonky and it screws people up. It's totally like a Belichick thing.
I need to look it up now.
Yeah.
But Green Bay also drafted a kicker as well. So.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's people who need kickers, and
the Dallas Cowboys should have drafted a kicker, and they didn't. It's fine. I'm on the Robbie Gould train. That's the only kicker I will deem.
Oh, see, I came from a team that's had a lot of really good kickers, so I mean,
I had a good kicker one time, and then he hurt his groin and was never the same. And now we had Dan Bailey, and now we've had trash since. And I love kickers. If any team is gonna have a good kicker, it needs to be mine.
Yeah, I mean, we've had Prater, we've had so many good kickers, and yes, the altitude has helped us. I will admit that, but still, we've had some damn good kickers. So, Seahawks. I mean, they got some good use out of those picks out of us. So
yeah, they got Devin Witherspoon, who's supposed to be really good. I thought he was going to go to the Lions, so I was shocked to see him go there. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's supposed to be the best wide receiver out of the whole class. So
yeah,
they did good things. I know some people were surprised they took a wide receiver. I thought they were going to go wide receiver. I don't know. I think they
took the running back that I liked. I liked Zach Charbonnet. He was on the list of who I was hoping we were going to get, but we got so many wider running backs. We don't really need them anymore. So, but yeah.
They definitely
Buccaneers.
needed a running back, letting Penny go and just having injuries and things.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they stink. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to be rebuilding for a while.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be any good. They didn't make any like crazy
No.
flashy picks or anything. They got a lot of rebuilding to do, so I'm sure they're just trying to do that. Maybe in the next few years they'll be good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That division just stinks. I'm just gonna stay on that train of I don't know. Y'all suck. The Titans ended up. I was really shocked they didn't get a quarterback in the first round, but then they ended up getting Will Levis in the second round, so it worked out for them.
Well, as someone who played them earlier, and we were bad, we held Derrick Henry to like less than 100 yards in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some issues on their line, so I think they probably said, hey, this guy's like one of the best offensive tackles available. We gotta go.
They got the best
guy here.
The best one, arguably. Yeah. And then they ended up getting a quarterback, which I thought they would get in the first round anyway. So to me, I'm like, well, they did pretty good. I still don't think they're gonna be very good next year, but
we'll see. I mean, he's gonna be 1 year behind Mariota. It's Mariota, right? That's still there.
No, it's Tannehill. And
Tannehill has 1 year and then he's gone.
Oh my gosh, who's the quarterback for the Titans? Malik Willis. I know, but
Tannehill and then
Malik Willis also is there. That they took Malik Willis.
They're not even thinking. They're like, nah.
Malik Willis sucks, but they dropped him last year. All right, moving on to the worst team in the NFL. And the last one, the Washington Commanders. They're trash.
Sean's asleep now, so he can't make
I know. It's not even fun anymore. I really don't think they did a good job in the draft, though, either. Not just being like a hater. I don't know. I just don't think they did that good. I think there were better players available when they took Forbes. I know even Sean wasn't very happy with that pick. So I'm going to take it as an L.
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
They didn't really help. They didn't get any. I'm surprised they didn't get they didn't get a wide receiver maybe to help Sam Howell out. Outside, they have Gary Terry, but outside of that, did they get a tight end? No. They just said, screw Sam Howell. He's gonna have to figure it out. Well, they got some linemen, I guess, to try to help him, but
yeah, they got an offensive tackle and they got a center, so they are trying. Here we go. Of course, he knows them all.
And why do you know that? why do you know it? Like, why are you boom, 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 boom with it?
Yeah. Well, because it's his team. I guess he wasn't asleep. Or did I wake you up, Sean?
He heard me. His like senses were tingling when I was talking crap about the Commanders. Are you happy with the draft, Sean? He is always awake, I feel like.
I know.
Are you happy with the draft? No.
Me?
Sean. He shouldn't be happy, I don't think. Do you think the Commanders did a good job drafting?
No, they took that corner before Christian Gonzalez, and that was kind of like downhill from there.
Sydney said you did a bad job. You did not take the guy that you should have.
He thought so too.
Yeah. We also took the guys on our draft board too, though, so I kind of feel your pain a little bit. But
who did you think they should have taken?
The Washington?
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez was available, and that's who everyone was saying they should have taken.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to talk yourself into thinking it was a good pick, Sean. It's okay.
Well, you know what? I said I've been looking at some of these RAS scores and trying to see, like, because some of it is a good metric. They were 7th in the draft according to their RAS scores. So they pick people that are athletic.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Picking Forbes over Gonzalez, you might have to defend that pick later.
Yeah.
Sean, with more than he's a ball hawk.
Yeah.
But
that's what, I mean, we did the same thing. There's a lot of players I think
got I'm going to too, but we picked him up in the 3rd round, not in the 1st. So, well, we didn't have a 1st, so.
I think there's a lot of players I'm gonna look back on in this draft and be like, God, that guy's really good. Like, and we drafted this guy before that guy. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like looking back, but I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta draft for what your team needs, and
Yeah.
it's what it is.
I mean, I said it when it happened, when we took Pat Surtain over Justin Fields. There's still fans. Like I said, it's toxic in Broncos country. There's still some people that are pissed about that pick. I'm like, how can you be mad? Like,
They'll be mad about anything.
oh yeah. There's
Gonzalez
just
first Georgia made Washington's
Yeah.
decision. Plus Forbes is ball hawk. That league. Yeah, you can try to make it sound better. Look, you've been spending too much time talking to Will. He's talked up that pick too, and I'm not gonna listen to it anymore. All right.
all right.
That is everybody though, and I'm tired.
Yep.
So we are getting out of here.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in and all the comments. Appreciate it. We'll be back not next week, but the week after, and hopefully Nicole will be able to jump in as well.
Yep.
But have a good night, y'all.
Night.